Hi Hempstead, it's Mrs. C and welcome to your Tuesday tip. Today we're going to talk about grief and specifically grieving through the pandemic. There are different types of grief. Traditionally we think about when we lose a loved one, when someone dies. And we know that many of you have lost loved ones during this pandemic, whether it was due to COVID or another way that the person died. If you are struggling with that, please reach out to your school counselor. We are able to help. But in addition, there are additional losses that we've suffered just because our world has changed so drastically. We didn't have homecoming this year. Games and plays and concerts look very differently. You're not seeing all of your friends every single day. Lunch is even different. So the social connections, anticipatory grief, things that might happen. What's graduation going to look like? If you're a senior, what's next year going to look like? Are you going on college visits? Is there going to be prom? The holidays coming up, all of those concerns about what might or might not happen is actually a type of grieving. So the impact of this type of grief, that feeling of control, feeling safe, feeling like you can predict a routine, losing all of that can be difficult for many, many people. And what's really hard about this is because there's no end date. We don't know that on December 31st, everything's going to go back to normal. And that sense of uncertainty can be really difficult in a time like this. So here are some signs. Maybe you haven't lost anybody, and so it hasn't occurred to you that you might be grieving, but take a look at some of these signs. Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling angry? Are you numb? Sometimes we can't feel anything at all. Or if your emotions are just up and down and you have trouble regulating them. Physically, sleeping patterns. Maybe you're sleeping all the time. Maybe you can't sleep. Same thing with eating. Being extra tired even if you are getting adequate sleep. Don't be surprised if you are struggling. Most people are if they're being honest with themselves. And so the key is just to recognize that I'm struggling and then making a plan to do something about it. So taking a look at the stages of grief, and we're going to go through these in detail. Denial, just basically you might be telling yourself, you know what, these changes don't really bother me. I can handle it, no big deal, I'm good. Then that a lot of times morphs into anger. You might blame someone. It's somebody's fault that these things are happening, or just completely disregarding the rules. I just want things to go back to the way they were, and lots of it's not fair. Then start making some bargains, some deals. Okay, if I do this for this period of time, then it's all going to go away. Then we can get back to normal. Sometimes that just makes life a little bit easier to accept. The depression, despair piece. That feeling of hopelessness sometimes that can kind of creep in there, feeling like it's never going to end. Again, that point that we don't have an end date is very, very difficult to work through. And then finally, hopefully getting to acceptance. Recognizing the fact that we cannot control this pandemic individually, but we can control how we respond to it. We can control what we do. I can make a plan. So I can't sit right next to my friends at the lunch table every day like I used to. So I might need to set up a time where I can be outside and go for a walk, or I might set up a Zoom, something like that. And looking to see, there have been a few positive changes through this pandemic, so hopefully maybe those are going to last. And when this is all over, the world will become a kinder place and we'll appreciate the social connections that we do have. So anticipatory grief is, as it says here, when the mind just goes to the future and really expects the worst to happen. Always kind of waiting for something else to happen. And so coming to the present, some things like that might just be naming my feelings. Okay, I'm feeling really anxious right now. I'm feeling very angry right now. Just acknowledging that those feelings are happening. Focusing on your breath. Saying I notice statements. I notice that my fists are clenched. I notice that I haven't been eating well lately. That brings you all back to the present moment. Counting can even be really, really helpful. If any of these solutions, you either try them and they don't work, or you just don't think they're a good fit for you, please reach out to your school counselor. These are things that we can help you with. And so to help cope with grief, no matter what type of grief it is, just really pay attention to how you're feeling. Don't judge yourself on I should feel this way or I shouldn't feel that way. You can't control your feelings. You just have to control how you respond to them. Think about your strengths. Think about your skills. Stay connected to people. Reach out. If you've been isolating yourself a little bit, think about who makes me feel good when I'm around them, even if I can't be around them in person. Create a new routine. We all do like routine and structure, which has been part of what's been hard about this. And so if you create a new routine that still provides some of that structure, limit your news diet. Sometimes the news can be a little bit of the sky is falling. And so if you discover that after you watch the news, your stomach hurts a little bit, you have trouble sleeping, you're more irritable, then that's probably a sign that you need to shut off the TV or put down the phone. And then focus on the things that you can control. It's just a reminder that it is okay to not be okay from time to time. Maybe you're doing all right, but you notice that somebody else is struggling. How do you help them? So again, just acknowledge their feelings. Wow, I can tell you're really stressed. Not judging, not trying to fix anything, just acknowledging their feelings, listen to them, and you don't have to have all of the answers. Sometimes we're afraid to start that conversation because we don't know what to say. So you can actually say, wow, I don't know what to say to that. Some questions that you might ask, I know you're missing out on a lot of plans right now. How does that make you feel? What's on your mind? And then just avoid trying to solve the problems or kind of look for the silver lining. Making statements like that are here. It's going to make you stronger. There are bigger issues right now. Other people have it worse. While that may be true, that minimizes the feelings that person is having and then adds a layer of guilt to everything else that they're feeling. Simply acknowledging someone's feelings and saying, wow, that must be really hard, can go a long way. And so just our biggest tip for you more than anything is feel your feelings. If you notice that you're getting stuck, that's a little bit more of a concern, and please reach out, but there are going to be lots of ups and downs through this. It's okay to say, I'm upset that we didn't get to have homecoming, or I'm worried about what graduation might be. Parents, I'm sure you're having lots of sadness about lost moments that are going on in your children's lives right now. That's okay. That's normal. Just keep connecting with people, keep talking to people, and please reach out if you have any questions or concerns. Thanks for watching our Tuesday tip. Bye-bye.